Every year on this Sunday between Christmas and the Maternity of Mary, we celebrate the Feast of the Holy Family, recognizing the Holy Family of Nazareth and the holiness that dwelt there in that family of Jesus and Mary and Joseph. Certainly, in many ways, a perfect family, an ideal family, but yet one that we are called to some way imitate. Obviously, we do not have perfect families. None of us do. We all have a little bit of messiness within our family life, and that's all part of it. But to realize that our families are truly holy. I'm not sure that we really deeply appreciate that reality, that holiness is lived within our family relationships. And we are all in relationship in some way with other people, maybe through blood, maybe through marriage, maybe through friendship. But there are those bonds that are there that are so very important and crucial. And it's precisely within those relationships of family that we are called to grow in holiness of life. The family is the great school of holiness. It is where we learn the practicality of being identified with Christ, yes, in his death and resurrection. For it's within family life that we learn to die to selfishness, to sin, to self-centeredness, where we learn to truly give of ourselves to others, to be more generous in our life, to be self-giving rather than always self-seeking. And that's never easy for those transitions to take place. But how important they are, because it is by dying to selfishness that we rise to self-giving love, a love that is not only for this life, but is for eternity. And so we celebrate the holiness of our families. We celebrate the ways in which we live out that holiness day in and day out, sometimes in very difficult circumstances and situations, sometimes with a boredom, sometimes with a wondering, is this really all worth it? But yes, it is, because it's about growing in commitment in relationship with Christ Jesus and in relationship with each other. Our families are truly holy, and we are called continually to encounter Christ within our family life. And that's one of the themes of this Feast of the Holy Family, is that we are called to realize that Christ needs to be at the very heart, at the center of our family life. That his Spirit is what we want to incorporate ever more fully into how we live in relationship with each other. There are many, many different forms of family. There's many different expressions of family. But all of those, no matter what character or form they may take, are truly means of growing in relationship with Christ Jesus. Putting Christ at the heart of our family life is a challenge, but what a rewarding gift. What a tremendous blessing it is when we can center our life upon Christ and upon the virtues that he enjoined upon us. St. Paul, in the second reading today, the letter to Colossians, really, I think, gives a lot of meat for all families to take and to consider and to reflect upon. As St. Paul says, put on heartfelt compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, bear with one another, forgive one another, put on love, and seek peace. What tremendous qualities those are. And I can't imagine that there's a family in this parish that could not grow in one or other of these. So many families live such a beautiful family life. They live such a beautiful expression of that. But again, there's always room for growth. There's always room for us to continue to strive to become better, to take time, even to, as a family, to sit down with this reading and take time and look at that and say, what virtue could our family grow in this coming year? What quality could we strive to incorporate more into a marriage relationship or into relationships with children? And maybe just to identify one of those and make it a New Year's resolution. A New Year's resolution is somehow growing in that spirit of Christ Jesus. That's the beautiful call that we have, to live that holiness of Christ within the concrete realities of our daily life. How blessed we are with the example of the Holy Family, with the presence of Christ in our very midst, and particularly with the presence of Christ within our homes, to realize that yes, our homes are places of love and compassion and caring and holiness. What a blessing we have in family life.